Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 197 of Is This Thing Working? How you doing today, Denise?
I am awesome.
I know
on
you
this
are.
Thursday.
I know you are.
Yes, I love what I do. But let me ask you this. Are you going to watch Kamala Harris tonight?
Kamala?
Oh, I'm sorry. Kamala Harris. I can't say her name right no matter what, so it doesn't even matter. You know,
I don't care what people call her. Kamala. Her name is Kamala.
Okay.
That's my name for her. I think if I met her face to face, I would call her Kamala. Just to see what she would say.
Just see the look on her face. She probably wouldn't even bat an eye because everybody calls her Kamala, except for me because I can't ever figure out which one is which. So
well, I hear a lot of people call her Kamala, but if you notice, the news media doesn't do it. They call her Kamala or Kamala or whatever, but they never say.
Well, you could be like President Trump and call her Comrade Kamala, you know.
Because it goes with commie. Yeah, exactly. But you asked the question, am I going to watch it for the content? Yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, she's going to be there with Tim Walz. It's an interview. It's taped tonight on CNN, everybody. Are you going to tune in? And if you are... why? Why are you going to tune in?
Right.
Just to laugh or, do you really want to know what's going on with them? You won't find out.
If you're not a supporter, if you are MAGA, if you are a moderate Democrat, if you're a RFK supporter and you got to sit here and listen to her just for the content, it's like, why am I going to torture myself
I feel
to
dumber
do this?
after watching it. I mean, I don't understand. We watch Fox News in the morning to see what's going on out there in the legacy media, and that's it. But their polls are horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they really put out polls that Kamala Harris is 50% in all these states that President Trump needs to win, and he's at like 49
at in the battleground states.
Yeah, what the heck? This is not even true. I mean, there is no way that that's true whatsoever. And what's the one state they said? They said North Carolina. He's up in North Carolina. She ain't gonna win North Carolina. They said. I don't understand it. Why everyone is in such a uproar over this woman who has flip-flopped on everything.
I know why they're doing it. I know exactly why they're doing it. They're doing it because they're a propaganda machine. They make Pravda look like kindergartners. And they're going to push that narrative because when they cheat, which they are, when they cheat, these polls will make it more palatable or more believable or what they call plausible deniability.
That's what they did in 2020.
Look at the polls. We didn't cheat. Look at the polls. We didn't cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where they're going with it. That's my opinion. But yeah, am I going to watch it? Strictly for the content.
That's it.
We would like to welcome our new sponsor to Is This Thing Working? So help us welcome Cornbread Hemp. Their mission is to draw on Kentucky's 250-year legacy of growing hemp, as well as the state's unique climate and soil, to manufacture the highest quality cannabis products available in America. They proudly offer full-spectrum, USDA organic CBD products with up to 2 milligrams of THC per serving. Their plants are grown in what's known as the Bluegrass Basin, which produces the highest quality hemp alongside the best bourbon and fastest racehorses. Cornbread Hemp is one of the very few, if not only, CBD brands in America who exclusively use the hemp flower to create their CBD extract, called Flower Only CBD, and they want the world to know.
Please check out Cornbread Hemp by going to cornbreadhemp.com right now for a 30% off your initial purchase of any products on the website. Again, go to cornbreadhemp.com and use promo code ITTW for this special offer. Remember, you get 30% off, promo code ITTW. Don't forget that promo code ITTW. Thank you so much for supporting our sponsors. They really do help and they appreciate it so much. And welcome to the show. But we want to state these are our opinions and our assertions. And if you agree with us, make sure you tell your friends and share that show.
And if you don't agree with us, man, tell your friends, share the show.
Also, stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe wherever you see the name. Is This Thing Working? And our podcast is available for download on all platforms. For example, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts.
And download that Rumble app so you can follow our show. You're going to receive instant notifications each and every time that we go live, which is Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yes. And here we go. Steve Bannon has been a political prisoner of the Biden and Harris administration for 58 days now. Free Steve Bannon is our mantra. We say this every single day, and we ask this question also. What is your task and purpose today? Like we say, be informed and become engaged. We have a list out there, a litany of them all over the place where you can become engaged, and you can help get President Trump elected, which is our main goal.
Be a poll worker, be a canvasser, do all that you need to do to push this message out here, man.
For real. I mean, that's it. And today, ours is to talk about to pass the SAVE Act. We have been talking about this. We need you to contact your congressman. And really, I want you to focus on the Senate. I want every senator, every conservative senator, every Democrat senator to be contacted because our elections need to be saved. And that is just where it's at right now.
Even if you're a Republican and you would never vote Democrat, hey, man, pick up the phone and call them too. Tell them, man.
Tell them that we need free and fair elections and only American citizens need to vote there. And that's vote here. And that is what the SAVE Act is about. And, you know, we know that there are problems and that they're going to fight it. And it's already getting polarized in this political scene that we have right now. You know, we have an article here from The Hill, and it says, proof of citizenship voting bill push could threaten government shutdown. Yes, folks, already we're talking about a government shutdown.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I mean, they won't do it. Will they do it? No, never.
No.
They will never do that.
No, they will always pass the CR
They will always
and kick
pass
the
it.
can down the road, man. Always. They put this out here, shut down the government as that some big threat, and oh my God, we can't function without it. We can't. Oh my God. But if you think about it, since what the week after, maybe the second week after President Trump's assassination attempt, and they done the palace coup on Joe, and all of a sudden everybody just forget that you voted in a primary. All of a sudden, hey, it's Kamala. But who's running the damn White House? And that's kind of my point. There ain't nobody running the damn White House. So if we shut the government down,
What does it matter?
What does it matter? Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have acknowledged a stopgap of some kind, also known as a CR, which we all know that they fight over every September before September 30th. The government has to be funded, you know, and they're trying to push for a year. Conservatives, right-leaning conservatives, real conservatives are pushing for it to be just through December so that when President Trump takes office in 2025, which he will, then he will have the right to do his bills and get through his priorities.
Yep.
But they don't want that.
Yeah, the article says here, calls are growing among House conservatives to use that must-pass measure to force consideration of a partisan bill aimed at barring non-citizens from voting, laying the groundwork for a clash with Democratic-led Senate, which would likely reject such a passage. The hardline conservative House Freedom Caucus took an official position this month, urging Speaker Mike Johnson to attach the measure. dubbed the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, or what we say, the SAVE Act, to spending legislation next month. Since then, the GOP conference's right flank has only ramped up public calls for the move, which has also seen some pickup in the upper chamber and prominent figures such as tech mogul Elon Musk, as the party looks to seize on immigration as a key campaign issue ahead of November. Look, they shouldn't be looking to seize this. This has been a damn issue for a long time. The entire Harris presidency, the entire Biden-Harris presidency.
You know what I find is crazy here? As I'm reading through this article, it says that we've been calling for Speaker Johnson to come out and get behind this. But Chip Roy of Texas, he says Johnson has not dismissed the idea of attaching the SAVE Act. But, of course, he hasn't dismissed it. Mike Lee came out yesterday and retweeted this article, actually, and said Mike Johnson is on board. But nowhere in this article does it say he's on board. He just says he's just not going to dismiss it. And I tell you, my conspiracy theory here is there are going to be hardline Democrat lovers in the Republican Party that are going to say, no, we're not going to do this. And the Senate is already on top of that with Mitch McConnell. Remember yesterday I was telling you about Mitch McConnell and how he was not on board with the SAVE Act because we don't want to shut down the government for this, and there's no way they will vote for it. But McConnell, like I said, Gateway Pundit, he tells me, he agrees with me. I mean, says exactly what I said. It says, however, McConnell's team has recently indicated that GOP conservatives should abandon the SAVE Act to avert a government shutdown just before the elections. They argue that the bill will likely backfire on Republicans, allowing Democrats to push through their own voter legislation. I talked about this yesterday about how, McConnell, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think McConnell wants that. I think he wants the Democrats to push their agenda over ours.
That's exactly what the writer of this article pretty much summarized. He goes, in other words, bend the knee now so Democrats will have a clear path to a rigged victory in November.
100%.
Even Emerald Robinson said this. She said this 2 days ago. She said GOP senators are openly telling you that the GOP has merged with the Democrat Party to destroy the USA. The GOP does not want Trump to win in 69 days. That's why we're headed for chaos.
And that's what it's going to be, folks. This election is going to be all about chaos.
You've got to push our congressmen, our representatives, our senators. You've got to push them to pass this act. We got to put their feet to the fire, man, because if we don't, like Emerald said, it's going to be a rigged election and ain't nothing you can do about it.
No, because you see what they do when they rig elections. They shut down the voice of the people that won, and that's what they continue to do. And the Texas Attorney General has been on top of this. We have a video of him on Real America's Voice talking to Stenchfield. So listen to what he had to say about state and federal elections.
Look, this is the most important issue that we have in this country. If we can't have fair elections that are without fraud, then we don't have a constitutional republic, and we're controlled by a few people in Washington that control how the elections work and how the fraud works. Then we've lost our country. So for me, there is no more important issue at the state level, at the federal level, and I'm hoping that more attorney generals get involved in this issue and that more governors get involved in this issue, because we are losing our country to voter fraud.
All right, so tell me what your biggest concern is. I know there's NGOs involved. These are these non-governmental organizations that are helping the flow of migration into this country, most of it illegal. Are they helping them get driver's license, and then are the illegals registering to vote in Texas? Explain to me what you believe to be happening here.
So I think this was a plan from the day that Joe Biden started, because you'll notice it was day one. He didn't wait for a month. It was like top priority was to tell the cartels that we're not deporting anybody. So Joe Biden came out. Why would you announce, oh, we're not deporting anybody? You only announce because you want some action, and the action got done. The cartel started bringing people by the millions to our border, and that's exactly what the Biden administration has done. They come to the border. They don't have to hide anymore. They're not running from Border Patrol for the first time ever. They're actually just, it's a handoff to Border Patrol, and then the Biden administration takes care of these people, moves them where they want them. Oddly enough, probably a lot of swing states, Texas, Florida, and then give them Social Security numbers, which they can then get driver's license with in each state. And only 3 states have laws that require proof of citizenship. So now to vote, and now you've got people voting. And that was the plan all along: get illegals to this country, put them in the right states, and get them to vote. And I think that's what's going on.
The Great Replacement Theory.
That's it. And we've been talking about that for a year now. And then Attorney General Ken Paxton, he launches illegal voting tip line and issues election integrity advisory cautioning against unlawful voting activity.
Yeah, here's his press release from yesterday. It said, in preparation for the 2024 elections, AG Paxton issued guidance clarifying and emphasizing several key aspects of state election law. This deals with just Texas, but and this is a good example for all states to follow. He said the guidance notes significant growth of the non-citizen population in Texas and a pattern of partisan efforts to illegally weaponize voter registration and the voting process to manipulate electoral outcomes have created an urgent risk local, state, and federal elections. He said citizens and governmental entities may review this guidance to better acquaint themselves with the relevant laws that can govern who can register to vote, how voting may be conducted, and other legal requirements. Violations of the Texas Election Code carry serious penalties, including jail time and fines. And this is the best part. He also launched an email tip line where the public may report suspected violations of the Texas Election Code. Reports may be submitted by email at illegalvoting@aog.texas.gov.
And he says, in quotes, there is nothing more important than the integrity of our elections. This means protecting every legal vote from unlawful attempts to alter the outcome of our elections. Any attempt to illegally cancel out legal ballots with fraud, vote harvesting, or other methods will be met with the full force of the law. Absolutely on board with that. Thank you so much, Attorney General Ken Paxton. We appreciate you having our back.
Are you ready to turn your great idea into a thriving business online? With Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform, you can launch, run, and grow your business like never before. Whether you're selling handmade crafts, digital products, or the next big thing, Shopify has you covered. From beautiful customizable templates to powerful analytics and marketing tools, it's everything you need to build a successful online store. And with 24/7 customer support, you're never alone on your journey to success. Start your free trial today at Shopify.com. Make your dream business a reality. Visit Shopify.com. Visit the ITTW merch store. We're beginning to build our merch store. We've got some really cool shirts on there. We've got some hometown things on there also. Go to it. Check it out.
Click that link below.
In other news, especially about President Trump, this comes from Politico.com. The headline reads, Trump claims Zuckerberg plotted against him during the 2020 election in soon-to-be-released book.
Man,
this is talking about the statement by Mark Zuckerberg to the Judiciary Committee the other day.
Yeah. And President Trump writes in his new book, which is set to be published next week, that Mark Zuckerberg plotted against him during the 2020 election and said the Meta chief executive would spend the rest of his life in prison if he did it again.
There you go.
You know, I think he should spend the rest of his life in prison for what he did in 2020.
I think so, too.
I mean, we should
really
not let him off the hook ever. And we know someone that would not do it, and we're going to play a little clip of that. Listen to Miss Natalie Winters on War Room. She tells it like it is.
24 election. This is how dumb, and I use that word in the most intellectual way possible, House Republicans are tweeting out Mark Zuckerberg just admitted 3 things. Biden-Harris admin pressured Facebook to censor Americans. Facebook censored Americans. Facebook throttled the Hunter Biden laptop story. Big win for free speech. Now, frankly, this actually makes sense because if House Republicans think that a big win or a victory is a strongly worded letter, I guess that'd be on brand and maybe in some ways cultural appropriation for what House Republicans are used to doing. But I don't know about you. If Mark Zuckerberg actually colluded with the federal government to deprive American citizens of their First Amendment rights, that's crime, and you should be treated accordingly. You shouldn't get a free pass with a weakly worded letter that I would say at best is an opening bid that you can beg for our forgiveness, but you're not going to get it. There are lasting ramifications for the debates that you stifled and censored intentionally.
There you go.
Yes. And like yesterday, or was it yesterday, day before anyway, when I was talking about Mark Zuckerberg, that looked like a forum letter to me.
Yeah.
And so I 100% agree that this was juvenile and it was to come out to get ahead of something. And we don't know exactly what it is yet, but we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Because the fact that the 2020 election was rigged, it was stolen from President Trump and the people, from the people who actually stood up and want you out of there. We want you gone. And let me tell you why. This is exactly why we want you gone. Because what you did to our border, what you've done to our states, what you continually do over and over. And yes, she's right. The Republicans are sitting over there all acting like, oh, we might pass the SAVE Act. Oh, we need to avoid a shutdown. Oh, the same old stuff over and over. We get nothing. We don't get the impeachment. We don't get a committee to go over what happened in 2020. Mark Zuckerberg has not at all been accountable for what he did during the 2020 election. And we've all known the percentages that Natalie just rattled off. We've known it from the beginning.
Yes. And I want to tell you a good thing, and this goes back to President Trump's statement about, hey, if you do it again, you will be in prison. I want to tell you something. If it was me and I'm running and you had done this to me, Mark Zuckerberg, in 2020, and here I am again in 2024, and I see that you've come out with this statement admitting that you've done it, oh, but I'm not going to do it again in 2024, I wouldn't give you the promise, oh, if you do it again in 2024, you're going to end up in prison. Do you know what I'd promise him? I would promise him, hey, dude, the moment I'm elected, you're going to jail. We listened to the, lock her up, lock her up, lock her up.
It's time to lock him up, lock him up, lock him up.
That's it. Lock
he needs to do it now, because he was part of how the migrant crisis drained $150 billion from taxpayers in a single year. He was part of this, by allowing that to happen.
He is part of the biggest 2 reasons in our country. He played his part in our economy, and damn straight he played his part on this border being open.
That's right. And the New York Post tells us the migrant crisis is more costly than Americans realize. Last year alone, U.S. taxpayers shelled out some $150 billion in government services and support to help the 20 million illegal migrants in the country, according to the study from the Federation for American Immigration Reform. And most of the cost is being borne by state and local governments.
Exactly. Not federal government, state and local government. We've seen how they've destroyed New York. We've seen how they've destroyed Chicago. The Chicagoans are pissed about this still, even to this day. We've seen how these illegal immigrants have destroyed Arizona. They've destroyed Aurora, Colorado.
Well, in all these, in Massachusetts, Republican leaders say there's a $1 billion hole in state coffers, and they're accusing the Democrat-controlled government of quietly siphoning off tax dollars to deal with the migrant crisis. And this is happening in every state.
Yeah.
And in the blue states, they can't afford it either because, honestly, their taxes are already so high. In the Democrat states, I wouldn't want to live in a Democrat state. Of course, they're all moving to these red states, and they're continuing to push migrants into the red states and registering them to vote so that every state can become a blue, falling apart crime state.
And that's a lot of the big gripes that a lot of people have, is the fact that the crisis at the border that Biden and Harris administration created, the federal government isn't bearing any of that brunt. All they're after is a vote. The states are the ones that bear this brunt. Look at this, man. Not a single state across our country has been spared. FAIR, who is the organization we talked about just a minute ago, they projected West Virginia spent the least, with cost of care for migrants and their children totaling still more than $33 million. Look at this, man. California is the number one state in factoring the cost of migrant kids that these states have spent the most money. Here's California at $30.9 billion. Texas at $13.4. New York at $9.9 billion. Florida at $8.3 billion. It just goes down on and on and on. And you've got 20 states listed here. And the top one is California, spending $30.9 billion on migrant kids. You've got Tennessee at number 20, spending $971 million. So you're still right under $1 billion in a fiscal year
that the states are having to foot the bill for.
Exactly.
That is taking money from you. That isn't even our federal government. This is just the states are paying for these migrants, and the federal government is forcing that on you.
Oh, all right. And we give these numbers out, and we give these, these dollar amounts out. The thing is, what these numbers represent is the drain on U.S. services and infrastructure. We're not built to have an extra 25 million people invade our damn country.
In our schools,
In our schools. That's exactly right. We're not built for that yet. We're not built for that
We
kind
don't
of
have that
population
infrastructure.
growth. Exactly.
I mean, look at this. I mean, the Kamala's border failure, it strikes again. New terrifying video shows armed Venezuelan migrant gangsters taking over another apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. I mean, they are taking over your states, and no one is doing anything about it.
Yeah, the video that I seen shows these guys armed, running up, knocking on people's doors, kicking them out of their places with guns.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's horrible.
The takeover is the direct result of the Biden-Harris regime's dangerous open border policies, and we know this, which have allowed criminals to pour into the country unchecked. Where are the cops? Where are the grown-ups in the room that are going to save the Americans from these gangs that they're just flying in now? They're flying them in. That, President Trump has said over and over and over again, they have released their prisons and they have sent them here to America to do what? What are they doing here for? You think these people are going to really vote?
Do you think they're going to be here and want to assimilate and become American citizens?
No.
All they are is criminals. Drew Hernandez put a post out yesterday on Twitter, and it talked about illegal aliens in San Diego, California, who tried to hijack 2 school buses filled with children. Here's a report from Channel 5 San Diego. Real short little report on it, but listen to this.
A group of migrants tried to board a school bus this morning while it was traveling to a school. The superintendent for the Humul del Zura Union School District informed parents of that incident earlier today. It happened at one of the stops on the school district's bus route that heads to Oak Grove Middle School and Humul Primary. Meanwhile, yesterday afternoon, in a similar area along another route, the superintendent says that a group of migrants tried to stop another bus. Border Patrol, CHP, and the Sheriff's Office have now been informed of these incidents. The superintendent says that for the safety of everyone, if a driver sees a group of migrants at a bus stop, they will drive past it and move on to the next.
Amazing.
Yeah, and that's what they ought to do. They ought to move right on past them.
Yeah, they need to just keep on going. They got, what, did they have kids in the bus?
Yeah, these are school bus kids. These are buses that are
so
taking
now you have
kids
to be afraid to drive kids in a bus?
Because the armed banditos are going to pull up on you and rob you, or pull up on you and overtake your bus. What were they going to do with the children when they overtook these buses?
Yeah,
Tell me that.
Yeah. What is up with that? I mean, people, we need to do something. I mean, we're always saying, hey, get out there and vote. We need to win, and it needs to be too big to rig. We need to vote. But what are we going to do about these migrants that are taking over our cities and towns? Who is there for us now? If we don't stand up and do something about this, they're going to take over the whole country. Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.